Well, hello, my extraordinary women friends. Today is a really special episode with three of the women who are the most influential women in my life. My mother, Kerry Guildner, her two sisters, my aunts, Jamie Mohr and Penny Mohr. I've been so excited for this interview. I've been staying up at nights thinking of all the right questions to ask these wonderful, extraordinary women, which angles to take. And there's like a million ways I could go about this. And what I know is I've come from a strong, strong line of women who have helped shape me into the women that I am. Let me introduce you to them to start with. So, first, I have my mom. My mom is the strongest woman I know. She lives at an elevation of 9,000 feet and can out hike me going up the mountain behind her house. She's fearless. She can start up a chainsaw and cut a fallen tree into little logs. She plows her own driveway. She sorts cows on weekends with her horse. And she's the most loving, caring person I know. She's thoughtful and would do anything for anyone. She believes in love, family, standing beside each other. And I was blessed to have her as my mom. So blessed. She's taught me I can do anything I set my mind to. Welcome, Mom. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. And next is my Aunt Jamie. Jamie's been here for me through the thick and thin of life. She's always there for me. Our kids are the same age and they grew up together on Lookout Mountain above Denver, playing in the woods, having sleepovers, going to school together. Jamie's been my rock through heartache many times. We did the whole online dating thing for a long time. We were doing that together, comparing notes on online dating. And we finally both eventually met our husbands online. We've hiked, we've played, we've laughed together. Oh my gosh, we laughed together because Jamie's probably one of the people who's made me laugh more in life than anyone I know. So excited to have you, Jamie.
Thank you, Cammie. And I just have to add one thing.
Yes.
You made me go on the dating line.
I think I actually I did your whole thing online.
You did.
I'm like, let's just create this account for you. Yes, yes. So I'm so excited. And then my Aunt Penny, who is only 10 years older than I am. And when I was small, I'd follow her around. We just saw some videos of us following her around, and it was so much fun at a horse show. And she has been somebody that in her 20s, I saw her adventurous spirit and her love for travel, which is something that I found my own love for travel after watching Penny really do her travel. Her adventurous spirit has taken her around the world to traveling to 26 different countries. She's lived in France, in Algeria, and Grenada. She got her higher education in economics, and eventually today is participating in critical health research in the U.S. So proud of you, Penny. And thank you for the adventurous spirit you have instilled in me as well.
Oh, yay, Cammie. It's just been so much fun to watch you blossom into what you are, and I just admire you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to start with my grandma, Jean, your mother, Jean Mohr to a lot of her grandkids, right? I mean, so we called her Grandma Jean. My sister and I and my brother all called her Grandma Jean. All the grandkids that came after that called her Mohr. So that's mother's mother in Norwegian, right?
Yes.
And Swedish.
Yeah, and Swedish. Yeah. And so I want to talk about her because she carries a lot of the same traits that you guys have: the bravery, the caring, the adventurer, the learner. And I'd love for each of you to share a memory of your mom that touches on one of those characteristics. So who would like to be the first one that shares a story of Grandma Jean? Mom?
I will say when my mother lost our father, she took off and traveled to Sweden and Norway by herself, which I would never do. I thought that was so, so brave. She really didn't know the relatives over there, and she just went over there and met people and say, "Hi, I'm your relative."
That was
I thought-
courageous, right? Can you imagine?
Very courageous, and I really admired that.
Yeah. And she had to do a lot of research because she had to like did she have to go to Salt Lake City to do a lot? I mean, if she didn't have what we have today that we can just go online and do the ancestry.com, she had to do all that research on her own.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sit
That
in
was,
front of the computer, and there's different languages, and you have to figure that out. That was pretty amazing.
yeah. Yeah. And Mom, what's that ringing in your background? Is that is it a clock? What is it?
Probably a clock.
My mom is an amazing clock collector. So there you go.
That was good to say, clock collector.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Else would like to share a story of Grandma Jean? Jamie.
Yes, Mom was surrounded by friends because she taught me, as well as Dad, to never say anything bad or poorly about someone else and to look for the good in everyone.
Mm.
And that in my life has helped me become a better person. She just, well, like I said, she just never said anything poorly about anybody. And it makes a big difference in your life.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you. And how about you, Penny?
Yeah, so one of the things that I really admired about Mom was that she really could see the beauty in life, and she took a lot of time to look at that and think about that, and that I think was reflected through her life as an artist, and she had a really good way of seeing, and I just remember it particularly acutely when she was really in a lot of pain towards the end of her life,
Mhm.
and that she was still really focused on trying to see the starlight, the rumbling of the water in Cherry Creek, and just really just wonderful things about her that I thought was just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that her ability to be in art was, I mean, just such, the beauty, the art. My house is filled with her paintings, and I know many of your houses are filled with her paintings. And it makes me even just, as I reflect on her beauty of art and her connection to art and beauty. And I look across all of you, and you guys are all amazing artists yourselves. Jamie and Mom are beautiful painters. You guys do such beautiful artwork that way. Penny, you do such beautiful work with your photography. So I'm really grateful for this line of being able to find the beauty in things and play in art. Does anybody just want to add into here? What does art mean to you? I know I didn't share that question with you guys earlier, but art's such an intricate part of our lives. And I think it helps us see the world through a different lens. Anybody have, Mom or Jamie?
First of all, I wanted to add to Penny. I remember when Dad died with Mom's beauty, she had us all go lie in the grass and get an ant's eye view of the world.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It was just wonderful. But art to me has been, well, I've really taken into it since my son died, and it's been an escape. And I totally lose myself with art, totally lose myself. And I'd come to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. Mike said, "Where have you been?" I said, "Well, I've been painting." And it just represents the colors of the world.
Yeah.
And also brings the beauty into the eyes of what I paint, I hope.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Jamie, your art is so colorful. It's just, that is a really unique stamp of your art. When you say colors of the world, that's it exactly.
It's very true. Very, very true. I love your paintings. I really do.
And they were healing for you.
They were very healing. Yeah, very healing.
Yeah.
And, with the talents of everybody in our family, Penny's photography is amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. And Kerry, I wish I could paint the way you do with your patients. Hers is so precise and beautiful.
We do different kinds of art because, I'm more exact, but that's okay. Everyone's different on their artwork. And I like to carve too.
Yes.
I carved, a horse and different things around here. I've carved wood, so that's fun.
My
Yeah, I
mom,
love.
my favorite thing my mom ever did is the rocking horse. That is a black walnut, beautiful rocking horse with real horsetail from my sister's horse. It's just so incredible.
Yeah, for me, I think photography has been a way for me to also just take that lesson that I learned from mom in terms of seeing things and take the time to see things. It's always amazing to me that it can be a weed, it can be just a different slant of light. It doesn't take much in order to make beauty. And in fact, just yesterday, I was out walking with a friend who was really distressed. And I just had her stop and look at the cherry blossoms and see the blue sky and feel the sun on our faces and say, this is a moment to treasure right here. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that's such a good lesson, right? It's anytime we're feeling in that space of despair, that if we stop and pause what's around us, there's so much beauty around us and so much ability to be able to just take it in and enjoy and be blessed with that. So I love this. I love this. Okay. So now I want to get into some of your personal stories. And so I'm going to start with you, Mom. You were only 18 when you had me, first of all. We were talking about this yesterday, which was my birthday. At that, you were only 18 and you're like, what do I do with this baby? And and you took a road less traveled despite family objections of, so you met Dad in high school. He's the football star. You step into to having this baby, and here you are. You go out and you buy this 1900 farmhouse that is kind of falling down. What were some of the things? I mean, let's just jump into the farmhouse piece of it, right? Because I'm always so proud of you and Dad and all that you built in our farmhouse, our home that we grew up in. So tell us a little bit about finding that and what that was like when you first were going to go there.
Well, we really never lived in town much when I grew up with Mom and Dad. Mm-hmm. And we were looking for some place to live, and I didn't care if I lived in a teepee. I didn't want to live in town. That was my thing. And so we found this farmhouse without a bathroom, and I was pregnant with Christy. And first thing I wanted was a bathroom. We're not having a baby in the house without a bathroom. So Virgil built the bathroom and a laundry room on. So then we just turned it into our home, and we had lots of, horses, cows, pigs, goats, sheep, chickens, ducks, everything. We had everything. And so it was our little farm. And the kids did 4-H, which I think is so important for anything. But then we built onto the house because it was too small for 3 kids. And so we did it ourselves, and we just learned step by step ourselves. And that's one thing I think I got from Mom and Dad too. You can just do things yourself. If you want to do them, just learn how to do them, and I was very proud of, how we had a family there and raised it out there on that farm. And it was fun. It really was.
And when you built onto that house, you didn't know how to build onto a house. I mean, you guys kind of figured it out along the way, and it was always figure outable, right? I mean, you always could figure out, okay, we're going to build onto the house. We're going to build an addition onto the house.
Yeah, let's just dig a hole.
Yeah, let's just dig a hole in the ground.
That's it. So we put a 30 by 20 foot addition onto the house, and then smart me, I thought, well, we'll just divide it right down the middle, and it'll be, a 10 by 30 living room. And then we'll have the bedroom and a bathroom on the other part. And my dad says, well, you can't do that. He says, think about it, 10 by 30 living room. So we did change that around, but yeah.
I love it. It's so funny because now, like, my husband's a planner, right? Tim is such a planner. And I'll be like, well, let's just tear out that wall. And he's like, no, we have to do all the planning, all the details along the way. I got a little bit of that. Let's just tear out a wall that you guys had.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
So our living room was half of the other way, and bedroom was half the other way. So it worked
You
out fine.
changed it out fine. And it was a beautiful home. It's like such a beautiful place to have grown up on. And we were just so very fortunate to have, 10 acres out our back door, and, be able to have our horses there. And, horses are just such an intricate part of who we all are. Having the horses in our world was important for who I am. That's for sure. So
I agree with that. Yeah.
Thanks for giving us good horses growing up, man.
Had a lot of fun laughing and camping and doing all those things with kids.
Yeah. Yeah. The nature side of it too is huge.
Lots
Right?
of 4-H
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jamie, one of the things I've always admired about you is your rich depth and breadth of friendships. You have such an incredible circle of friends around you always. And just recently when we all sat down and we got to see some of your Western movies that you guys created. I mean, they literally were creating movies. I don't know, what years was this? You were a 20-year-old. So it was these old Western movies you were creating in a little Western town with all your friends, and they were hilarious. They were so much fun. And one of the things when I think about you and your friends is all the laughter that you always create. You're always doing something wild and crazy and silly with your friends. So can you tell us a story of friendship and how just laughter has been such an intricate part of your life?
First of all, friendship. That did come from my dad, as far as he taught me to look for something good in everything and to be patient. And one time I was making fun of something, I think it was the hippie movement or something like that. And he stopped me and said, no, he said, you need to look at everything, because he said, in that hippie movement, they're expressing themselves, and there's something you need to listen to, something you will learn from it. And so that's kind of been the way I've lived my life. As far as friendships, it goes back to mom and dad both, and looking for something good in everybody. My close friends, I've chosen, I think, because of the laughter. And we get together, and yes, we do laugh. We laugh a lot. It's so healthy. And I have a little story to tell you that after I had been in the hospital for about a month and had gotten out, and there were a lot of doctor mistakes, huge ones. So my friends took me to get a cup of tea and some coffee. And we were telling the stories about the doctors and all laughing. And we were talking about Lorena Bobbitt and laughing. And then this man stands up and walks across the room, and he says, excuse me, he said, I'm a doctor and I'd like to learn more about laughter because it's so healthy. And of course, then we all
That's a wonderful story.
We were laughing so hard when he said that. We just said, what can you say to him? Well, we were laughing about doctors. Anyway, but I think laughter it is so healthy. It is so healthy. And like I said, my friends that I am closest to all have that type of a personality where we do crazy, crazy things together and laugh. And I think that's part of me anyway, just part of my, I like to make people laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've had so many good laughters over the years.
Yes, you make everyone laugh. I would totally agree. All the time.
So I have to share the story of Jamie's famous trick was always the water trick. And so if you can imagine a family sitting around a table with people. So, and I'm just going to go back to when I was like in my late teens, and she's meeting my future husband, which is my ex-husband now, but she's meeting my future husband for the first time. And we're all sitting around the table, and she is sitting next to him, and she takes a drink of water, and she just starts talking and letting the water come out of her mouth, dribbling down her chin. It's her famous water trick, which we all know, right? We all know.
Well, I was going to say, and of course your husband to be wouldn't look at me the rest of the night because he thought there was something off with me. And one of their laughter stories, this is on Cammie. Cammie and I hiked together a lot before she met the love of her life. And we were up hiking, and I saw this gorgeous view of the mountains, and I had a camera. And I said, oh my God. I said, look at this. And I'm backing up and taking a picture and fell right into a river. And Cammie sat there and laughed and laughed and laughed at me.
It was hilarious. It was pretty hilarious to see you
That's
fall into the
great.
river as you're taking the picture.
Yeah, as I recall, Jamie actually took it a little bit further than that. They used to have numbers that they would actually rate people, like when somebody would come with a date. Didn't you
Oh.
have like a scoring system from 1 to 10?
We only had that with one friend's sister-in-law.
Oh, okay.
He was 6'6", and he came in the room, and we had these cards, and we were rating, how much, laughter, blah, blah, blah. And one of them was how tall he was. And we said to him, well, for height, gee, we went above a 10. And Liza, his fiance, pulled him in the kitchen. She said, gosh, darn it, Mohr, cut this out. He's very, he's very worried about his height. So, anyway.
Oh,
So funny. So funny. Okay. How have friends shaped you, Jamie?
What's that?
How have friends shaped you into who you are?
They've shaped me into just my life and living.
Yeah.
My friends, I mean, as you know, I've been sick. And because of my friends and my family, I just keep going because they are my life. They are so important to me.
Yeah.
And so how have they shaped me? They brought light into my life.
They brought light into your life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Penny. So you also took the road less traveled, but in a complete opposite way of Mom. You took to traveling around the world. And can you share one of your favorite travel stories that really impacted who you are as a woman today?
well, this is one that most everybody that's close to me knows, and it's going to take too long to get into, but just as a brief synopsis, it was when I was imprisoned for being a spy in Algeria.
So who knew? I had a spy aunt.
Yep, and I was in jail there with I was in a cell with a prostitute who danced for her food, and she would share it with me, but she just spoke Arabic and didn't speak French, so we really couldn't communicate other than that. And that I just remember crying a lot the whole time. I was in jail for 3 days because, I was trying to tell them that I was falsely imprisoned, but I was crying a lot. I didn't act like a spy.
Penny?
Yeah.
Didn't you take notes from the gendarmes too that would help? You took a little journal from that too?
No, so what happened is that, so this is what happens when you're a spy. They take you into a separate room and they interview you and they take detailed notes and they try to get your whole life story while they're doing this. And they wake you up, during the middle of the night. They try to put you off balance. So they bring you in a lot. So during this period of time, I can't remember how many times I was interviewed. But they would bring me in and they'd type up all these notes. And, they asked everything like from where I was born to when I first traveled overseas and all sorts of things like that. And when they got done, they had something, what they call in French, a procès verbal, which is basically a whole summary of everything that I've said. And I said, wow, I've never really told my life story like that. Could I have a copy of that? And the guards, I mean, the people started laughing and they actually told me, they said, you and Nixon, you're just the same, which I thought was really funny. But anyway, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so
I didn't get a copy of it.
You didn't get a copy. And
No.
How did you get out?
I think they became very convinced that I was definitely not a spy.
So then they finally just let you go.
They let me go. Yeah.
What did you learn?
Oh God.
In the jails of Algeria.
Yeah. I mean, I was taking exceeding risks. Let's just put it that way. And, I think that one thing that I learned was afterwards, a lot of the friends that I had were sort of tormented by the police, who followed them around and were interviewing them. And actually, I learned afterwards that one of my friends was jailed there, because of the incident. And just realizing that, you have to be really careful. I mean, it was a very paranoid society. It was,
Mhm.
a socialist, very, very restrictive environment and very difficult to move around in. And some of my friends paid, I think, because of just some, um, I was basically, pawning myself off as a student, at the university, even though I'd never been admitted as a fully matriculated student. And it's not the same thing as being a spy, but, it had ramifications. So just,
Mm.
be careful of what you do because it can have ramifications for other people that you care about. So.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Which is an interesting lead into intuition when you think about, I think that we have an intuitive streak that runs in our family, and that, we just know what we know. Is there a time when you knew something intuitively, instinctively, before you really knew it? Is there, Jamie, do you have?
Yes, Dad had been very sick for a year, and he was in the hospital. And we walked around. He said, daughter, he said, I wonder, you wonder what you've done in life and what you've accomplished when you're so close to dying." And I said, "Let me think about that, Dad." So a year went past, and Dad was living at home then, but still had the heart problem. And I was watching Virginia Woolf with them on TV. I'd been in that in Hawaii and in the play. And I was watching it with them, and I said goodnight, and I left, and I got in my car, and I thought, you can't leave. You have to tell Dad what it was. And something literally pulled me in, and Mom opened the door, and I was crying. And I said, "I need to talk to Dad." And she said, "Well, sure." And so I went in to talk to Dad, and I said, "Dad," I said, "you have the love and respect of everyone around you." And I went on and on about what I'd learned from him and so forth. And I left, hugged him, left, and he died the next day.
Mm. So you
And
knew.
I knew. And then another thing that happened is one day Sadie was going to go climbing, and I woke up in the morning. I thought, she cannot go climbing today. She just can't go climbing. And I've never told her that. So I called her and said, "Sadie, please don't go climbing today." And then she called me back, and she said, "Another friend just called me and said the same thing, Mom."
So
So she didn't go climbing.
yeah. Yeah. So that knowing inside.
Yeah.
I know I certainly have moments like that too. Mom, I know you do.
I don't know what.
I do. Think about when you knew there was a grandbaby coming,
Oh,
right?
yeah, but I just knew it.
You knew it before they told you, right?
What?
You knew it before they told you.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Penny? Is there any stories that come to mind for you?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of along the same lines as Jamie's story. One of my friends, my best friend's mother had died, and I was very close to her. In fact, she had been on our honeymoon with us together, which just shows you how close I was to my friend's mother. But anyway, she was just a wonderful woman in my life, and I was going to go to her funeral, and I didn't bring the directions, and I thought, oh my God, and I was going to be late to the funeral, and I was so worried about this, and all of a sudden it just like clicked in my mind, go here, go there, and I ended up exactly where I needed to be. And I thought, I don't know how I did that, but yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's a cool story. Thanks.
I think same thing when we went to Faribault, Minnesota, when my grandmother died, and I'm taking the horse trailer out there to pick up some stuff. Mom was already there, and I hadn't been to Faribault in years and years. And we got there like at 10 o'clock at night, and I drove right to their house. And I don't know how I could do that. It was amazing. Like, oh, we're here.
That's cool.
Deep in the subconscious. Yeah.
Totally. So sisterhood, You know, I miss my sister greatly. And I know you guys have a special circle of sisterhood amongst you. What does sisterhood mean to you?
Well, I'm much closer to Jamie, of course, because Penny was like 7, almost 8 when I got married. So Jamie and I are only 18 months apart, so we grew up together. But we have had so much fun in our life together. We really have. We've laughed and skied together. And, you know, we just had a lot of fun growing up together because we shared the same bedroom and everything. And, well, what else? She's my traveling person, that's for sure, because I wouldn't have gone to Norway or to Hawaii or to Florida or any of those places without my sister Jamie. I mean, she's the one that, okay, let's go traveling. So I'm very thankful for that, because I wouldn't do it by myself. I'm not like my mom, I guess, that way. And Penny, you were just, little when I left and got married. But since you've grown up, I just see all the things you've accomplished and what a great sister you've been. And when the 3 of us get together, we just laugh. And I think that's just really fun that we can do fun things together, the 3 of us together. I'm very proud of that. And I love you both. Very much.
Yeah, for me, sisterhood is really knowing who I can lean on. I always know, no matter what happens to me, what is going on in my life, I can always call Kerry or Jamie. And I usually call them one right after the other. It's like, oh, but both have been so vital to me in just helping me through difficult times in my life, and just really, really love that.
And for me, I think we're incredibly fortunate to have a family of sisters who are so close and loving. There have been too many stories of people who have been alienated from their sisters or brothers or whatever. And I know that'll never happen with us, never. Mm-hmm. And even though Penny was younger than both of us, we used to tease her.
You tortured me. It wasn't teasing.
That's very true.
We did, but we used to hide and scare her. But anyway, I have learned a lot from both my sisters. Both. I mean, just what it means to be so accomplished and so focused on life and living through Penny. And Kerry through that strength of just doing anything that you want to do too. I mean, both of them are that way. And it's amazing. And the support. Yes, Penny, I agree on the support. When any of us need it, we're both there for each other. And I love both of you.
Love it. I love all of you. So you know that I'm all about raising up women in the world. And I know all 3 of you have raised me up in life with your wisdom. I feel very blessed to have had your love, your support, your wisdom, your strength, and all the things that you've taught me over the years. What's the message you'd like to give to your daughters, to your granddaughters, that you want them to know?
I would say the sky is the limit of what you want to do, that you can do anything. I mean, if you don't, you can learn it yourself and just go about and do whatever you want to do with your life. And you're strong and loving and be that way. And that's what I think. You can just do whatever you want.
Thanks, Mom. And I feel that. I totally feel that.
And you have.
Thank you.
You definitely have.
So
yeah. Go ahead, Jen.
So I'm hoping that Sadie will look for all the good in the world. She'll look at things and make them like I had learned from my dad, but find something that's good in them. And also I agree with Kerry. I've hoped that I raised my children to know that they could do anything they want in their life. Sadie chose to go to Kyrgyzstan, and people said, how can you let her go? And I said, because that's her life. That's what she wants to do now. And she has accomplished a lot, and I'm very proud of her. And I was proud of my son too. But I think that's the main thing is, you can do anything you want in your life and find something good with everything. There's something good there.
Yeah. Thank you. Penny?
Yeah, for me, it's don't be afraid of failure. You're not gonna move forward if you don't fail. And you can keep failing and failing and fall down and stand back up again. And you just gotta take risks and get out there. And I think that my daughter is definitely taking on a very risky risky career with looking at being a violinist. But I wish I could instill in her the confidence that, okay, you fail, but you got to get back up and you got to just do it again. So
yeah, and she's so talented. She's so talented, and I love seeing all the amazing doors that open for her. Yeah. Yeah. So Penny, you're doing some really important work right now in the world of healthcare. And I want to make sure that I bring that into this interview because I think it's really important. You just taken on a really new big role. And can you share a little bit about the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to say this in a really short way. So bear with me a little bit here, but I work for an organization called the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute, or known as PCORI.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it was founded under the Affordable Care Act to fund research to help people make better decisions at point of care about, for example, should I get the surgery or not? There was a real need for something like that. But also as part of this whole institute, they have funded what they call PCORNet, which is a network of networks of health systems that are linked by what they call a common data model, so that there can be communication in terms of the data that underlie all of these health systems. So there are over 60 health systems in the United States that are linked through this infrastructure, and we spent over $500 million in developing it to help make the conduct of clinical trials faster, better, and cheaper. And I'm now the director of that. And what's so exciting is that particularly under COVID, it has just really proved its worth, and it's very, very exciting. A couple of key things to say about this is that one of the things is that we were able to launch one of the trials for one of the drugs that was being considered as being potentially preventative for COVID early on during the pandemic in a month, which is like warp speed for launching a clinical trial. 40 health systems participated in that. And also it's got this very, very large cohort of people who have acquired COVID. And that's being used now by the Centers for Disease Control to monitor, to try to better understand the characteristics of people who get COVID, who proceed to severe disease, and potentially some of the factors that can mitigate that. So it's been extremely exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and it's so important in the mix of having come through a whole crazy year like this, right? Where we want, we're looking for the solutions to bring to solve the problems that we've had with COVID. So I'm fascinated with the work that you're doing, and thank you for all that you're doing in that space. What did you learn in this year of COVID? I mean, that's just a whole another question for you all.
Oh, for me, the biggest thing, this was again back to my photography. I was just thinking about a year ago when everything was so quiet. We didn't have planes in the sky, the streets didn't have cars, and I could hear the birds and I could see the flowers, and it was so beautiful. And so really that pause in life was also very beautiful. So
Yeah.
for me, that was important.
I agree. I totally agree that slowing down, not being on planes all the time felt really, really good. So I appreciate that.
And what felt good to me is I've always been a goer.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my aunt used to call us the goalie, holy, holy, wally, go girls. And But anyway, I thought, oh my gosh, here I am, I'm home, and I can't go anywhere. And I became comfortable with that. I became comfortable with a piece of that. We did puzzles, we did, I did paintings. We just did things to, my life relaxed. And I thought, oh, I can do this, and it feels good.
Yeah.
And I think it will continue to feel good that way.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. How about you, Mom?
Yeah. I just spent a lot of time outside, in nature. And so, but I think I did really miss family get-togethers. That was the hardest part about this last year. It really was, is everyone getting together. But, you're right. I'm up here by myself, and, I did artwork, and Jamie, you did artwork too. I know a lot of it. And Penny with your camera for sure. And just taking hikes in the forest and riding horse in the forest, I was safe.
Yeah, totally. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. The final question I always close with so I always say, what 3 pearls of wisdom would you like to leave with our listeners? So you each get a pearl of wisdom to share with our listeners. Who would like to do the first pearl? Mom.
My pearl of vision is that what my father said to me, and that's what I said to my kids and grandkids, that you can do anything you want. I mean, I think he meant it when I was 17, 16. Like, you don't have to be a secretary in your life. Well, I chose to be married and have a family, and I'm very proud of that. And that's what, I learned how to do lots of things being married, and I can drywall, I can do electrical work. I can do all kinds of things that I learned on my own and with Virgil. And so that's what I think is what my dad said. I can do anything I want to do. If somebody can do it, I can probably do it myself. So go for it.
Thanks, Mom.
I was just thinking, this brought to mind something that I told actually at my birthday party, but when I was younger, we were all young then, except for Mom and Dad. We broke into a neighbor's house. They were very, very poor, and they lived in a barn, and we broke into their house Christmas Eve, and we put their gifts under their trees.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very meaningful to me in life, in knowing that we need to go through life looking to help other people, and understanding that the people are not all as well off as we are, and that we can help people feel better and do better and believe in them. And that's really important to me. And I hope that that'll be important to my daughter. I think it is already. And to my friends. It's just knowing that we're not up on some kind of a hierarchy. There is none. We need to all look at each other and see what we can do.
That's beautiful.
I thought that was very special that night. We did that. We even took a meal for Christmas meal that night. And that always had a great memory in me also, Jamie. It was a fabulous thing to do, and I'll never forget it. It was really special.
And we never told them who did it.
Nope.
They had no idea who did it ever. So
that's so wonderful. What a wonderful story.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. And Penny?
Yeah, so I kind of live by the words of this Spanish poet, Antonio Machado, which is, Walker, there is no path. You make the path as you walk.
So find your path. That's yours.
I like that. I like that a lot, Penny.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thank you, my favorite ladies. It was so much fun to do this. I have been so excited to do this. I appreciate you sharing your stories and your hearts and your wisdom. And I'm so honored to call you all family. And I love you all very much.
And I love all of you too. And I'm also honored to have my family as they are.
I would agree. I love all of you, and I love our family. And yes, we have a wonderful family. We really do.
And thank you so much, Cammie, for thinking about doing this. It was just really a delight to share, and now we have it in a recording. We should probably send it to StoryCorps or something like
That's
that.
right.
But
I like
really,
that idea.
yeah, this was really a wonderful conversation, and I really appreciate your getting us together for
You
this.
bet. Well, thank you.
Bye.